What's going on, y'all? Johnny J back at it again with another video. To be more specific, another Vinland Saga video. This right here is episode 5. So, just got finished watching episode 3 and 4. In episodes 3 and 4, you know, Thor, he took his little squad from the village and went out to go and fight in the war, but they took a little pit stop, and unfortunately that led to Thor's downfall, and Thorfinn was there because he was a little stowaway and he got caught in the crossfire as far as being held hostage, and then that ultimately led to his father dying. And at the end of episode 4, you see the rage in Thorfinn's eyes, you see it in his face. He's like, I'm about to get these guys that just killed my father. So you already know them deciding to let Thorfinn live is going to ultimately lead to their downfall in the future. You got to kill off every single person that is closely involved with this man, because you know, when you don't do that, when you don't kill him off completely, then that gives the opponent time to come back, whether it's a day, 2 days, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Gives them time to come back and seek revenge. So this is going to be very interesting, because I'm pretty sure now Thorfinn is going to be the main character, the main focus, and we're going to see his development from him being a kid, 6 if I'm not mistaken, up until he gets of age where he does go out and become this beast, because his dad was a beast, his dad was a monster, you know. So, you know, genetically he should follow in the footsteps. But anyways, let's get into this right now. Vinland Saga episode 5. Let's go. They're probably destroying everything, yo. Miss kid.
Yo, 頑張ってんな。
お前
どうだ。
And he took those mushroom steroids and he still couldn't keep up with them. Trash.
お前はただ弱いだけだな。
俺はトールズの子トルフィン、洗脳のオーディの名において貴様に決闘を申し込む。待て、僕は負けてない。戦え、卑怯者。
しつこいガキだな。
まだ終わってない。お前を殺すまでだ。絶対に殺す。
It seems like he still has some like nobility to him, even though he did some fuck shit to kill off Thor. Episode 6. Let's go.
休むなよ。手動かせって。うるせえな。やってるだろ。確かにこの地の領主が抱えるイングランド軍には手を焼いているが、俺らの兵は100人以上。はっきり言って戦力もあんたらより上だ。 何を望む？金7ポンド、漁師が蓄えた財宝と食い物、女は全部もらう。囲まれてやがったな。お前うるさいんだよ。撃たれた。
Ooh, that was clean.
サーブになってきてんじゃねえか。
母ちゃん、ちょっと母ちゃん。
ほらごらん、気持ちよくなったろ。まったく男の子ってのはズボラでいけないよ。うちの下の子もよく頭をボリボリやってたね。
おい女、
はい、なんでしょう。
デエンジンの石膏がこの辺りに忍び込んだ。怪しいガキを見なかったか？
ガキ？子供の海賊です。
女、それはお前の子か？
ええ、そうです。末のジョンですが、何か？
ちょうどその子供ぐらいの背格好だ。見かけたら知らせろ。トロフィーの合図はそろそろのはずだが。見えた、あそこだ。そんな。
She's distraught. Well, yo, I'm gonna cut the video off right there. It's episode 5 and episode 6. Pretty good, especially episode 6. But in episode 5, you got to see how Thorfinn became more so a part of the Ashland's band, which is interesting, for the fact that I'm surprised they just let him roll around with them, even though they didn't really take him seriously. They just let him, hang out with them and I guess be somewhat a part of the group during that time period until later on in episode 6 where the action happens and then he officially becomes a member of that group. But going back to episode 5, I thought it was also interesting too when they went back and they showed what was happening in the village, and they went to the family and was like, look, Thorfinn is lost and Thor died. And I'm sitting there like, wait, how did y'all lose track of Thorfinn like that? Like, he was the guy, he just grabbed him, and I'm pretty sure after they killed Thor, they let him go. Y'all could have just grabbed him then and just took off, but whatever. And then you see the daughter, how she took the place of Thor at the time of, they were at that time where they're already like, look, he's dead. So we just gotta, keep moving on with things. And then she is now the quote unquote man of the house because it's just her and the mother. So I always thought that was interesting. It's also interesting too because if you know the history of her and Thor kind of really didn't care too much about her, especially when she was born. Because the big thing back then was a boy. You have to have a boy. If you have a girl, who cares? Good, you have a child, but you really want a boy, I guess, to continue on the legacy what you've left behind and things like that. So, you know, I guess from the jump, it was this idea of that lack of affection being there, you know. So that probably kind of pushed onto her, like, all right, my dad's dead. That's sad, but you know, we got to keep moving on. It wasn't really a time where they could just sit down and really think about what happened. But anyways, that goes into episode 6, where you go back to Thorfinn being in Ashland's band of warriors, and he eventually settles in, especially after he gets his first real kill, and how that changes him, and he is becoming more and more a vital point in that group up until the end. And it was interesting at the end, because if you see it, Thorfinn, he yawns just like Ashland does. In Ashland, he's been yawning the whole time, and I've noticed that. I was like, yeah, he yawns just a lot. So then at the end, where the lady takes him in and, you know, is all nice to him, but he still turned around and did something messed up, something wrong that killed off their village. He kind of has that same mentality that Aslan has. And it's also interesting too that he's around them and he's helping them out so much and becoming a part of the band, where that band is responsible for his father's death. So maybe it's going to circle back around where it's like, all right, I just joined to train up so I get to this point where I'm able to take you out. So that's very interesting. And also what's also interesting too is the language barrier, where this whole conversation after Thorfinn gets taken in by that old lady and her, I guess her daughter, and the language barrier that's there, because in a lot of shows they will all be speaking the same language, but in this show they put it that no, even though this happens in the same era, maybe in the same, I guess you could say the same continent, it's still language barriers to it. And I think that's that's very true to history. That's very true to what actually occurs in the world. So I think that's very interesting that they put that in there, that they were speaking English and, you know, he's not. So I'm just interested, what language are they actually speaking? If you guys know that in the comment section, definitely throw that down below. So this episodes 5 and 6 were good, but I loved episode 6. Episode 6, you really got to see the growth with Thorfinn. But anyways, these are my thoughts. More Vinland Saga episodes on the way. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, follow me on my social media sites, links down below in the description box. This is Johnny J. I'm out.